잠시 후 1시 10분부터 2023학년도 대학 수학능력시험 3교시 영어 영역 듣기평가 방송을 시작하겠습니다. 수험생 여러분은 편안한 마음으로 방송에 귀를 기울여 주시고 감독 선생님께서는 스피커의 음량을 알맞게 조절해 주십시오. 수험생 여러분은 답안을 작성하기 전에 반드시 답안지 왼쪽 해당란에 성명, 수험번호 등을 정확하게 기입하고 표기하였는지 확인하시기 바랍니다. 답란에 정답을 표기하기 전에 답안지에 있는 수험생 준수사항을 꼭 확인하십시오. 듣기평가 문제는 1번부터 17번까지입니다. 방송을 잘 듣고 문제지에 있는 5개의 답지 중에서 맞는 답 하나만 골라 답안지에 해당 란에 바르게 표기하십시오. 듣기평가는 타종 없이 시작됩니다. 이제 문제지 표지를 넘기시기 바랍니다. 그러면 지금부터 3교시 영어 영역 듣기평가를 시작하겠습니다. 1번부터 17번까지는 듣고 답하는 문제입니다. 1번부터 15번까지는 한 번만 들려주고 16번부터 17번까지는 2번 들려줍니다. 방송을 잘 듣고 답을 하시기 바랍니다. 1번. 다음을 듣고 남자가 하는 말의 목적으로 가장 적절한 것을 고르시오.
Hello, Lockwood High School students. This is your school librarian, Mr. Wilkins. I'm sure you're aware that our school library is hosting a bookmark design competition. I encourage students of all grades to participate in the competition. The winning designs will be made into bookmarks, which will be distributed to library visitors. We're also giving out a variety of other prizes. So don't let this great opportunity slip away. Since the registration period for the bookmark design competition ends this Friday, make sure you visit our school library to submit your application. Come and participate to display your creativity and talents.
(2번) 대화를 듣고 여자의 의견으로 가장 적절한 것을 고르시오.
Honey, do you want some apples with breakfast?
Sounds great. Can you save the apple peels for me?
Why? What do you want them for?
I'm going to use them to make a face pack. Apple peels are effective for improving skin condition.
Where did you hear about that?
I recently read an article about their benefits for our skin.
Interesting. What's in them?
It said apple peels are rich in vitamins and minerals, so they moisturize our skin and enhance skin glow.
That's good to know.
Also, they remove oil from our skin and have a cooling effect.
Wow. Then I shouldn't throw them away.
Right. Apple peels can help improve our skin condition.
I see. I'll save them for you.
(3번) 대화를 듣고 두 사람의 관계를 가장 잘 나타낸 것을 고르시오.
Hello, Mr. Roberts. I appreciate you taking the time to share your experience and knowledge.
My pleasure, Miss Lee. I've enjoyed all your best-selling books, so I'm excited to help you.
Thanks. Since I'm writing about world-class athletes, I wanted to hear how you've trained children who became Olympic swimming champions.
Then we should start with what I observe on the first day of my swimming classes.
Do some children stand out right away?
Yes, some kids are able to pick up my instructions quickly and easily.
I see. So did many of those kids go on to become Olympic champions?
Well, practicing is much more important. Those who consistently practiced made great improvements and ultimately became champions.
This is good insight I can use in my book.
I hope it helps.
(4번) 대화를 듣고 그림에서 대화의 내용과 일치하지 않는 것을 고르시오.
Hi, Jane. What are you looking at on your phone?
Hi, Brian. It's a picture I took at Grand Boulder National Park. I went hiking there last weekend.
Let me see. I like the bear statue wearing the check pattern jacket.
It's cute, right?
Yeah. There's a park map between the lights. It seems to include useful information.
It helps me pick a different trail each time I go hiking. Do you see the 2 flower pots in front of the cabin?
Yes, they look beautiful. Oh, there's a round table by the path.
I had lunch there.
What a nice place to enjoy lunch. Look at the bird on the tree branch.
Isn't it lovely? I love going there and being close to nature.
(5번) 대화를 듣고 남자가 할 일로 가장 적절한 것을 고르시오.
Honey, I'm so excited for our restaurant's reopening event tomorrow.
So am I. Let's see. We've ordered enough ingredients, right?
I think so. We need to remind our loyal customers of the event.
I already sent text messages.
Good. I hope people like the new menu items that we added.
Don't worry. We have a great chef, so I'm sure the new dishes will be a hit.
What about the live music? Did you confirm the song list with the band?
Not yet. And we also need to wrap wine glasses to give as gifts for the customers.
Okay. Could you wrap them?
Sure, I'll do it now.
Great. Then I'll contact the band.
(6번) 대화를 듣고 여자가 지불할 금액을 고르시오.
Hello, are you enjoying your time here at Magic Unicorn Children's Farm?
Yes, thank you. I'd like to buy some snacks to feed the animals.
Sure, we sell 2 kinds of food for the animals, vegetable sticks and sliced fruits.
How much do they cost?
It's $5 for a pack of vegetable sticks and $10 for a pack of sliced fruits.
I'll take 4 packs of vegetable sticks. Are there any other activities?
We offer horseback riding. A ticket for a ride around the farm is $25.
Oh, my son and daughter will love it. 2 tickets, please.
So 4 packs of vegetable sticks and 2 horseback riding tickets, correct?
Right. And I heard you're offering a 10% discount as an autumn promotional event.
I'm sorry, that event ended last week.
I see. Here's my credit card.
(7번) 대화를 듣고 남자가 K-트렌드 페스티벌에 갈 수 없는 이유를 고르시오.
Sam, Do you want to go to the K-Trend Festival with me this Saturday?
Hi, Olivia. Is that the festival held at Central Square?
Yeah, that's it. There'll be many attractions including taekwondo performances that incorporate K-pop dance moves.
Really? Sounds cool. What time does it start?
It starts at 5 p.m. Will you be working at the movie theater at that time?
No, I'm not working this Saturday, but I can't come to the festival.
Too bad. Do you have to study for your economics exam?
Actually, I already took the exam yesterday.
Then what's the matter?
I have to take my younger sister to the airport on Saturday evening.
Where's she going?
She's going to Canada to study abroad.
That's awesome. I hope she has a good experience there.
(8번) 대화를 듣고 졸업사진 촬영에 관해 언급되지 않은 것을 고르시오.
Hello, Jennifer Porter speaking.
Hi, Ms. Porter. This is Steve Jackson from Lifetime Photo Studio.
Oh, how are you?
Good. I'm scheduled to shoot your school's graduation photos on Wednesday, November 23rd. So, I'm calling to confirm the details.
Sure. As we previously discussed, the place will be Lily Pond Park.
Okay. Could you tell me the exact number of students taking part in the photo session?
Let me check. Well, it'll be 180 students.
I see. The same as you said before.
That's right. How long will it take to shoot the photos?
It'll take almost 3 hours. We should finish by noon.
Great. Is there any other information you need?
No, I'm all set. Bye.
(9번) 그린빌 하우스 플랜트 엑스포에 관한 다음 내용을 듣고 일치하지 않는 것을 고르시오.
Hello, listeners. I'm Melinda Jones from the organizing committee of the Greenville Houseplant Expo. I'm here to announce that the expo will run for 3 days starting on March 17th, 2023. Just on the opening day, there will be a lecture on plant care methods. This lecture will be given by Dr. Evans, host of the TV show Plants Love You. Most importantly, you can buy a variety of plants, including rare species, exhibited in the expo. Due to its popularity, you'd better get your tickets early. Tickets are available through online purchase only. If you're a plant lover, come to the expo, which will take place at the Emerald Convention Center, and refresh your houseplant collection.
(10번) 다음 표를 보면서 대화를 듣고 여자가 구매할 첼로 케이스를 고르시오.
Welcome to Uptown Music Shop. How can I help you?
Hi, I'm looking for a hard cello case.
All right. Here's our catalog. These are the ones we have in stock. How much are you willing to spend?
I can spend up to $200.
Okay. How about the interior material? Do you have a preference?
Well, I don't want the velvet one. It seems difficult to take care of.
Right. Then how about the length?
I have a full-size cello, so I want a case that's at least 50 inches long.
Now you have 2 options left. Do you need wheels on your case?
No, I don't need them. I won't carry it around a lot.
Then this is the one for you.
Thank you. I'll take it.
11번. 대화를 듣고 남자의 마지막 말에 대한 여자의 응답으로 가장 적절한 것을 고르시오.
Mom, I'd like to get a new bicycle helmet. Can you buy me one?
I'll buy you a new helmet if you need it, but what's the problem with the one you have now?
My helmet feels too tight. It hurts my head.
(12번) 대화를 듣고 여자의 마지막 말에 대한 남자의 응답으로 가장 적절한 것을 고르시오.
Honey, are you free on Saturday afternoon? Our son said he's going to a career fair and asked if we can come along.
Great, I'm free. I've been wondering what kinds of emerging careers might suit him.
Me too. Then why don't we join him?
(13번) 대화를 듣고 남자의 마지막 말에 대한 여자의 응답으로 가장 적절한 것을 고르시오.
Can I come in, Professor Rossini?
Of course. Come on in, Ben. What brings you here?
I came to ask for advice on studying Italian.
Is there anything specific you're having trouble with?
Yes, I'm experiencing difficulty using words properly. Could I get some tips?
Sure. First, let me ask how you use your dictionary.
Well, I use it to look up words that I don't know the meanings of.
Dictionaries provide example sentences for most words. Do you read them too?
No, I don't pay attention to the example sentences.
Knowing the meaning of words is important, but you should also understand the context in which the words are properly used.
I see. So you're suggesting that I study the example sentences as well, right?
(14번) 대화를 듣고 여자의 마지막 말에 대한 남자의 응답으로 가장 적절한 것을 고르시오.
Dad, I found these old photos of our camping trip from 25 years ago.
Oh, I remember this trip. You were about the same age as your son, Peter.
Right. It was a really fun trip.
Yeah, I still go camping often, but that's the most memorable one.
I agree. I want Peter to have that experience too, but he always refuses to go.
Why doesn't he want to go camping?
He just wants to stay home and spend all his time on his smartphone.
Don't worry. I'm sure Peter will like camping once he experiences how fun it is.
You're probably right. Dad, when is the next time you're going camping?
This weekend. We should all go together.
That'd be great. Peter might come as well if his favorite grandpa invites him.
(15번) 다음 상황 설명을 듣고 KT가 제이콥에게 할 말로 가장 적절한 것을 고르시오.
Jacob just started volunteering at a nursing home and is planning his next visit. He recalls that not every resident in the nursing home enjoyed the activity he had prepared last time. To avoid this situation, he tries to find an activity that all residents in the nursing home can enjoy. But he can't come up with one that everyone would like. He asks his friend Katie for advice because she has lots of experience volunteering at a nursing home. Katie thinks there's no single activity that can interest all the residents. So Katie wants to suggest to Jacob that next time he should plan more than one activity. In this situation, what would Katie most likely say to Jacob?
(16번부터 17번까지는) 두 번 들려줍니다. 16번과 17번, 다음을 듣고 물음에 답하시오.
Hello, students. Perhaps no material on Earth has been more important in human history than metal. Today, we're going to discuss the contribution of metals to the development of civilization. First, gold was considered the most valuable metal due to its beauty and scarcity. Because of its visual appeal and ability to be easily shaped, it's been used to decorate religious places and objects. Second, silver was mainly prized for being the shiniest of all metals. It's been one of the main forms of currency since it was the chief metal used for making coins. Next, iron became widely used once humans discovered techniques to strengthen it. This metal was fashioned into tools that revolutionized farming and later machines that industrialized the world. Finally, aluminum is the most abundant metal in the world and is also lightweight. That's why it's been essential to countless industries in modern society, from automotive to aerospace to household products. Now, let's watch a short related video.
다시 한번 듣겠습니다.
Hello, students. Perhaps no material on Earth has been more important in human history than metal. Today, we're going to discuss the contribution of metals to the development of civilization. First, gold was considered the most valuable metal due to its beauty and scarcity. Because of its visual appeal and ability to be easily shaped, it's been used to decorate religious places and objects. Second, silver was mainly prized for being the shiniest of all metals. It's been one of the main forms of currency since it was the chief metal used for making coins. Next, iron became widely used once humans discovered techniques to strengthen it. This metal was fashioned into tools that revolutionized farming and later machines that industrialized the world. Finally, aluminum is the most abundant metal in the world and is also lightweight. That's why it's been essential to countless industries in modern society, from automotive to aerospace to household products. Now, let's watch a short related video.
16번. 여자가 하는 말의 주제로 가장 적절한 것은? 17번. 언급된 금속이 아닌 것은? '이제 듣기 문제가 끝났습니다. 18번부터는 문제지의 지시에 따라 답을 하시기 바랍니다.
27. Turtle Island Boat Tour. The Fantastic Turtle Island Boat Tour invites you to the beautiful SeaWorld. Dates: from June 1st to August 31st, 2024. Tour times: weekdays 1 p.m., 5 p.m. weekends 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. 1 p.m., 5 p.m. Each tour lasts 4 hours. Tickets and booking bullet operator $50 per person for each tour. Only those aged 17 and over can participate. Bookings must be completed no later than 2 days before the day of the tour. No refunds after the departure time. Each tour group size is limited to 10 participants. Activity: snorkeling with a professional diver feeding tropical fish. Feel free to explore our website, www.snorkelingti.com. '28, 2023 Eastland High School Video Clip Contest. Shoot and share your most memorable moments with your teachers and friends. Guidelines: theme: joyful moments. In our growing community, submissions will be accepted from December 1st to December 14. Submissions should be uploaded to our school website. Video length cannot exceed 3 minutes. Entries are limited to 1 per student. Prizes: first place, $100 gift card; second place, $50 gift card. Winning videos will be posted to our school's app. The prize winners will be chosen by the school art teachers. For more information, visit the school website. (26) Charles H. Towns, one of the most influential American physicists, was born in South Carolina. In his childhood, he grew up on a farm, studying the stars in the sky. He earned his doctoral degree from the California Institute of Technology in 1939, and then he took a job at Bell Labs in New York City. After World War II, he became an associate professor of physics at Columbia University. In 1958, Towns and his co-researcher proposed the concept of the laser. Laser technology won quick acceptance in industry and research. He received the Nobel Prize in Physics in 1964. He was also involved in Project Apollo, the moon landing project. His contribution is priceless because the internet and all digital media would be unimaginable without the laser. (25) The above graph shows the percentages of the respondents in 5 countries who sometimes or often actively avoided news in 2017, 2019, and 2022. For each of the 3 years, Ireland showed the highest percentage of the respondents who sometimes or often actively avoided news, among the countries in the graph. In Germany, the percentage of the respondents who sometimes or often actively avoided news was less than 30% in each of the 3 years. In Denmark, the percentage of the respondents who sometimes or often actively avoided news in 2019 was higher than that in 2017 but lower than that in 2022. In Finland, the percentage of the respondents who sometimes or often actively avoided news in 2019 was lower than that in 2017, which was also true for Japan. In Japan, the percentage of the respondents who sometimes or often actively avoided news did not exceed 15% in each of the 3 years. (18) I'm Charlie Reeves, manager of Toon Skills Company. If you're interested in new webtoon making skills and techniques, this post is for you. This year, we've launched special online courses, which contain a variety of contents about webtoon production. Each course consists of 10 units that help improve your drawing and storytelling skills. Moreover, these courses are designed to suit any level, from beginner to advanced. It costs $45 for one course, and you can watch your course as many times as you want for 6 months. Our courses with talented and experienced instructors will open up a new world of creativity for you. It's time to start creating your webtoon world at https://webtoonskills.com. (19) David was starting a new job in Vancouver, and he was waiting for his bus. He kept looking back and forth between his watch and the direction the bus would come from. He thought, "My bus isn't here yet. I can't be late on my first day." David couldn't feel at ease. When he looked up again, he saw a different bus coming that was going right to his work. The bus stopped in front of him and opened its door. He got on the bus thinking, "Phew. Luckily, this bus came just in time so I won't be late." He leaned back on an unoccupied seat in the bus and took a deep breath, finally able to relax. 1. Nervous, relieved. 2. Lonely, hopeful. 3. Pleased, confused. 4. Indifferent, delighted. 5. Bored, thrilled. (20) Values alone do not create and build culture. Living your values only some of the time does not contribute to the creation and maintenance of culture. Changing values into behaviors is only half the battle. Certainly, this is a step in the right direction, but those behaviors must then be shared and distributed widely throughout the organization, along with a clear and concise description of what is expected. It is not enough to simply talk about it. It is critical to have a visual representation of the specific behaviors that leaders and all people managers can use to coach their people. Just like a sports team has a playbook with specific plays designed to help them perform well and win, your company should have a playbook with the key shifts needed to transform your culture into action and turn your values into winning behaviors. (22) Being able to prioritize your responses allows you to connect more deeply with individual customers, be it a one-off interaction around a particularly delightful or upsetting experience, or the development of a longer-term relationship with a significantly influential individual within your customer base. If you've ever posted a favorable comment or any comment, for that matter about a brand, product or service, think about what it would feel like if you were personally acknowledged by the brand manager, for example, as a result. In general, people post because they have something to say and because they want to be recognized for having said it. In particular, when people post positive comments, they are expressions of appreciation for the experience that led to the post. While a compliment to the person standing next to you is typically answered with a response like, "Thank you," the sad fact is that most brand compliments go unanswered. These are lost opportunities to understand what drove the compliments and create a solid fan based on them. (23) Managers of natural resources typically face market incentives that provide financial rewards for exploitation. For example, owners of forest lands have a market incentive to cut down trees rather than manage the forest for carbon capture, wildlife habitat, flood protection, and other ecosystem services. These services provide the owner with no financial benefits, and thus are unlikely to influence management decisions. But the economic benefits provided by these services, based on their non-market values, may exceed the economic value of the timber. For example, a United Nations initiative has estimated that the economic benefits of ecosystem services provided by tropical forests, including climate regulation, water purification, and erosion prevention, are over 3 times greater per hectare than the market benefits. Thus, cutting down the trees is economically inefficient, and markets are not sending the correct signal to favor ecosystem services over extractive uses. 1. Necessity of calculating the market values of ecosystem services. 2. Significance of weighing forest resources non-market values. 3. Impact of using forest resources to maximize financial benefits. 4. Merits of balancing forests' market and non-market values. 5. Ways of increasing the efficiency of managing natural resources. (24) The concept of overtourism rests on a particular assumption about people and places common in tourism studies and the social sciences in general. Both are seen as clearly defined and demarcated. People are framed as bounded social actors either playing the role of hosts or guests. Places, in a similar way, are treated as stable containers with clear boundaries. Hence, places can be full of tourists and thus suffer from overtourism. But what does it mean for a place to be full of people? Indeed, there are examples of particular attractions that have limited capacity and where there is actually no room for more visitors. This is not least the case with some man-made constructions such as the Eiffel Tower. However, with places such as cities, regions, or even whole countries being promoted as destinations and described as victims of overtourism, things become more complex. What is excessive or out of proportion is highly relative and might be more related to other aspects than physical capacity, such as natural degradation and economic leakages, not to mention politics and local power dynamics. 1. The solutions to overtourism, from complex to simple. 2. What makes popular destinations attractive to visitors? 3. Are tourist attractions winners or losers of overtourism? 4. The severity of overtourism, much worse than imagined. 5. Overtourism, not simply a matter of people and places. (41-42) One way to avoid contributing to overhyping a story would be to say nothing. However, that is not a realistic option for scientists who feel a strong sense of responsibility to inform the public and policymakers and/or to offer suggestions. Speaking with members of the media has a. advantages in getting a message out and perhaps receiving favorable recognition, but it runs the risk of misinterpretations, the need for repeated clarifications, and entanglement in never-ending controversy. Hence, the decision of whether to speak with the media tends to be highly individualized. Decades ago, it was b. unusual for Earth scientists to have results that were of interest to the media, and consequently few media contacts were expected or encouraged. In the 1970s, the few scientists who spoke frequently with the media were often criticized by their fellow scientists for having done so. The situation now is quite different, as many scientists feel a responsibility to speak out because of the importance of global warming and related issues, and many reporters share these feelings. In addition, many scientists are finding that they enjoy the media attention and the public recognition that comes with it. At the same time, other scientists continue to resist speaking with reporters, thereby preserving more time for their science and running the risk of being misquoted and the other unpleasantries associated with media coverage. 1. The troubling relationship between scientists and the media. 2. A scientist's choice, to be exposed to the media or not. 3. Scientists. Be cautious when talking to the media. 4. The dilemma over scientific truth and media attention. 5. Who are responsible for climate issues, scientists or the media? (43 through 45). A. Emma and Clara stood side by side on the beach road, with their eyes fixed on the boundless ocean. The breathtaking scene that surrounded them was beyond description. Just after sunrise, they finished their preparations for the bicycle ride along the beach road. Emma turned to Clara with a question. Do you think this will be your favorite ride ever? Clara's face lit up with a bright smile as she nodded. Definitely. A. I can't wait to ride while watching those beautiful waves. B. When they reached their destination, Emma and Clara stopped their bikes. Emma approached Clara, saying, bicycle riding is unlike swimming, isn't it? Clara answered with a smile, quite similar, actually. Just like swimming, riding makes me feel truly alive. She added, it shows me what it means to live while facing life's tough challenges. Emma nodded in agreement and suggested, your first beach bike ride was a great success. How about coming back next summer? Clara replied with delight, with, absolutely. Clara used to be a talented swimmer, but she had to give up her dream of becoming an Olympic medalist in swimming because of shoulder injuries. Yet she responded to the hardship in a constructive way. After years of hard training, she made an incredible recovery and found a new passion for bike riding. Emma saw how the painful past made her maturer and how it made her stronger in the end. 1 hour later, Clara, riding ahead of Emma, turned back and shouted, look at the white cliff. Emma and Clara jumped on their bikes and started to pedal toward the white cliff where the beach road ended. Speeding up and enjoying the wide blue sea, Emma couldn't hide her excitement and exclaimed, Clara, the view is amazing. Clara's silence, however, seemed to say that she was lost in her thoughts. Emma understood the meaning of her silence. Watching Clara riding beside her, Emma thought about Clara's past tragedy, which she now seemed to have overcome. 21. How you focus your attention plays a critical role in how you deal with stress. Scattered attention harms your ability to let go of stress, because even though your attention is scattered, it is narrowly focused, for you are able to fixate only on the stressful parts of your experience. When your attentional spotlight is widened, you can more easily let go of stress. You can put in perspective many more aspects of any situation and not get locked into one part that ties you down to superficial and anxiety-provoking levels of attention. A narrow focus heightens the stress level of each experience, but a widened focus turns down the stress level because you're better able to put each situation into a broader perspective. One anxiety-provoking detail is less important than the bigger picture. It's like transforming yourself into a non-stick frying pan. You can still fry an egg, but the egg won't stick to the pan. 1. Never being confronted with any stressful experiences in daily life. 2. Broadening one's perspective to identify the cause of stress. 3. Rarely confining one's attention to positive aspects of an experience. 4. Having a larger view of an experience beyond its stressful aspects. 5. Taking stress into account as the source of developing a wide view. (29) A number of studies provide substantial evidence of an innate human disposition to respond differentially to social stimuli. From birth, infants will orient preferentially towards the human face and voice, seeming to know that such stimuli are particularly meaningful for them. Moreover, they register this connection actively, imitating a variety of facial gestures that are presented to them as tongue protrusions, lip tightenings, mouth openings. They will even try to match gestures which they have some difficulty, experimenting with their own faces until they succeed. When they do succeed, they show pleasure by a brightening of their eyes. When they fail, they show distress. In other words, they not only have an innate capacity for matching their own kinesthetically experienced bodily movements with those of others that are visually perceived, they have an innate drive to do so. That is, they seem to have an innate drive to imitate others whom they judge to be like me. (30) Bizarre economies feature an apparently flexible price-setting mechanism that sits atop more enduring ties of shared culture. Both the buyer and seller are aware of each other's restrictions. In Delhi's bazaars, buyers and sellers can assess to a large extent the financial constraints that other actors have in their everyday life. Each actor belonging to a specific economic class understands what the other sees as a necessity and a luxury. In the case of electronic products like video games, they are not a necessity at the same level as other household purchases, such as food items. So, the seller in Delhi's bazaars is careful not to directly ask for very low prices for video games because at no point will the buyer see possession of them as an absolute necessity. Access to this type of knowledge establishes a price consensus by relating to each other's preferences and limitations of belonging to a similar cultural and economic universe. (35) Speaking fast is a high-risk proposition. It's nearly impossible to maintain the ideal conditions to be persuasive, well-spoken, and effective when the mouth is traveling well over the speed limit. Although we'd like to think that our minds are sharp enough to always make good decisions with the greatest efficiency, they just aren't. In reality, the brain arrives at an intersection of 4 or 5 possible things to say and sits idling for a couple of seconds, considering the options. Making a good decision helps you speak faster because it provides you with more time to come up with your responses. When the brain stops sending navigational instructions back to the mouth and the mouth is moving too fast to pause, that's when you get a verbal fender bender, otherwise known as filler. And like or what your mouth does when it has nowhere to go. Even those with average talent can produce notable work in the various sciences, so long as they do not try to embrace all of them at once. Instead, they should concentrate attention in one subject after another, that is, in different periods of time, although later work will weaken earlier attainments in the other spheres. This amounts to saying that the brain, even those with great abilities, proceed in this way. Thus, when we are astonished by someone with publications in different scientific fields, realize that each topic was explored during a specific period of time. Knowledge gained earlier certainly will not have disappeared from the mind of the author, but it will have become simplified by condensing into formulas or greatly abbreviated symbols. Thus, sufficient space remains for the perception and learning of new images on the cerebral blackboard, condense, cerebral, tenere exploring one scientific subject after another, remarkable work across the sciences, as the previously gained knowledge is retained in simplified forms within the brain, which, room for new learning. 1. Enables, leaves, 2. Challenges, spares, 3. Delays, creates, 4. Requires, removes, 5. Invites, diminishes. Negotiation can be defined as an attempt to explore and reconcile conflicting positions in order to reach an acceptable outcome. Areas of difference can and do frequently remain, and will perhaps be the subject of future negotiations, or indeed remain irreconcilable. In those instances in which the parties have highly antagonistic or polarized relations, the process is likely to be dominated by the exposition, very often in public, of the areas of conflict. In these and sometimes other forms of negotiation, negotiation serves functions other than reconciling conflicting interests. These will include delay, publicity, diverting attention, or seeking intelligence about the other party and its negotiating position. Whatever the nature of the outcome, which may actually favor one party more than another, the purpose of negotiation is the identification of areas of common interest and conflict. In this sense, depending on the intentions of the parties, the areas of common interest may be clarified, refined, and given negotiated form and substance. 37. Norms emerge in groups as a result of people conforming to the behavior of others. Thus, the start of a norm occurs when one person acts in a particular manner in a particular situation because she thinks she ought to. Thus, she may prescribe the behavior to them by uttering the norm statement in a prescriptive manner. Alternately, she may communicate that conformity is desired in other ways, such as by gesturing. In addition, she may threaten to sanction them for not behaving as she wishes. This will cause some to conform to her wishes and act as she acts. But some others will not need to have the behavior prescribed to them. They will observe the regularity of behavior and decide on their own that they ought to conform. They may do so for either rational or moral reasons. Others may then conform to this behavior for a number of reasons. The person who performed the initial action may think that others ought to behave as she behaves in situations of this sort. Yes, some contests are seen as world-class, such as identification of the Higgs particle or the development of high-temperature superconductors. Science is sometimes described as a winner-take-all contest, meaning that there are no rewards for being second or third. This is an extreme view of the nature of scientific contests. Even those who describe scientific contests in such a way note that it is a somewhat inaccurate description, given that replication and verification have social value and are common in science. It is also inaccurate to the extent that it suggests that only a handful of contests exist. But many other contests have multiple parts, and the number of such contests may be increasing. By way of example, for many years it was thought that there would be one cure for cancer, but it is now realized that cancer takes multiple forms and that multiple approaches are needed to provide a cure. There won't be one winner, there will be many. At the next step in the argument, however, the analogy breaks down. Misprints in a book or in any written message usually have a negative impact on the content, sometimes, literally, fatally. The displacement of a comma, for instance, may be a matter of life and death. Similarly, most mutations have harmful consequences for the organism in which they occur, meaning that they reduce its reproductive fitness. Occasionally, however, a mutation may occur that increases the fitness of the organism, just as an accidental failure to reproduce the text of the first edition might provide more accurate or updated information. A favorable mutation is going to be more heavily represented in the next generation, since the organism in which it occurred will have more offspring and mutations are transmitted to the offspring. By contrast, there is no mechanism by which a book that accidentally corrects the mistakes of the first edition will tend to sell better. 31. Over the last decade, the attention given to how children learn to read has foregrounded the nature of textuality, and of the different, interrelated ways in which readers of all ages make texts mean. Reading now applies to a greater number of representational forms than at any time in the past. Pictures, maps, screens, design graphics, and photographs are all regarded as text. In addition to the innovations made possible in picture books by new printing processes, design features also predominate in other kinds, such as books of poetry and information texts. Thus, reading becomes a more complicated kind of interpretation than it was when children's attention was focused on the printed text, with sketches or pictures as an adjunct. Children now learn from a picture book that words and illustrations complement and enhance each other. Reading is not simply, even in the easiest texts, what a sentence says is often not what it means. 1. Knowledge acquisition. 2. Word recognition. 3. Imaginative play. 4. Subjective interpretation. 5. Image mapping. (32) A musical score within any film can add an additional layer to the film text, which goes beyond simply imitating the action viewed. In films that tell of futuristic worlds, composers, much like sound designers, have added freedom to create a world that is unknown and new to the viewer. However, unlike sound designers, composers often shy away from creating unique pieces that reflect these new worlds and often present musical scores that possess familiar structures and cadences. While it is possible that this may interfere with creativity and a sense of space and time, it in fact, through recognizable scores, visions of the future or a galaxy far, far away can be placed within a recognizable context. Such familiarity allows the viewer to be placed in a comfortable space so that the film may then lead the viewer to what is an unfamiliar, but acceptable vision of a world different from their own. 1. Frees the plot of its familiarity. 2. Aids in viewer access to the film. 3. Adds to an exotic musical experience. 4. Orients audiences to the film's theme. 5. Inspires viewers to think more deeply. (33) There have been psychological studies in which subjects were shown photographs of people's faces and asked to identify the expression or state of mind evinced. The results are invariably very mixed. In the 17th century, the French painter and theorist Charles Le Brun drew a series of faces, illustrating the various emotions that painters could be called upon to represent. What is striking about them is that what is missing in all this is any setting or context to make the emotion determinate. We must know who this person is, who these other people are, what their relationship is, what is at stake in the scene, and the like. In real life as well as in painting, we do not come across just faces. We encounter people in particular situations, and our understanding of people cannot somehow be precipitated and held isolated from the social and human circumstances in which they, and we, live and breathe and have our being. 1. All of them could be matched consistently with their intended emotions. 2. Every one of them was illustrated with photographic precision. 3. Each of them definitively displayed its own social narrative. 4. Most of them would be seen as representing unique characteristics. 5. Any number of them could be substituted for one another without loss.
제3교시 종료 10분 전입니다.
Everyone who drives, walks, or swipes a transit card in a city views herself as a transportation expert from the moment she walks out the front door. And how she views the street. That's why we find so many well-intentioned and civic-minded citizens arguing past one another. At neighborhood meetings in school auditoriums, and in back rooms at libraries and churches, local residents across the nation gather for often contentious discussions about transportation proposals that would change a city's streets. And like all politics, transportation is local and intensely personal. A transit project that could speed travel for tens of thousands of people can be stopped by objections to the loss of a few parking spaces or by simple fear that the project won't work. It's not a challenge of the data or the traffic engineering or the planning. Public debates about streets are typically rooted in emotional assumptions about how a change will affect a person's commute, ability to park, belief about what is safe and what isn't, or the bottom line of a local business. 1. Relies heavily on how others see her city's streets. 2. Updates itself with each new public transit policy. 3. Arises independently of the streets she travels on. 4. Tracks pretty closely with how she gets around. 5. Ties firmly in with how her city operates.
제3교시 종료령입니다. 수험생은 필기도구를 놓고 답안지는 뒤집어서 오른쪽에, 문제지는 표지를 덮어서 왼쪽에 각각 놓고 조용히 기다리십시오. 제2감독관께서는 문제지와 답안지를 수험 번호 순으로 회수하여 주시고 수량을 확인하여 주십시오.